Okay, we are live. So I have the chat on my phone if anybody wants to ask any questions. We are going to do today 30 minutes of relaxing your pelvic floor. And for that, we are today going to use a bolster. You can alternatively use a couple of rolled up, maybe a rolled up quilt or a couple of pillows. And we're also going to just have a few blankets handy just in case. But today we have also the balls. So um, you can use a pair of socks. We're going to sit the perineum on the ball. So if you haven't sat on a ball before, I would suggest you use something that is not as hard as a ball. This is an actual therapy ball, so this is quite hard. So you would want to start here. This is like a stress ball. You can see it's a little bit squishy. You could use something like that, or simply a pair of socks, just something to feel underneath the perineum, something to allow your body to relax over. But we're not going to do that first. We're going to start today with a squat. So we're going to do a little yoga squat. Now, for the yoga squat, you want to take the feet so that they are just a little bit more than hip distance apart. Now, when you take your squat, if your heels don't come to the floor, then you can take one of your little blankets and just put them underneath the heels so that you have something to rest your feet on. And you can see I could actually rest my backside on this as well. But if your bum is quite far from the floor and it's really uncomfortable to sit like this, you also have the option of putting something under your heels and something underneath your backside. But what we really want is to get this nice open-legged position, and we want to allow the hips to relax down. And then you want to take this outside part of your arm, so just the space above your underarm, and you're going to put it here on the space on the inside of your knee. You do that on both sides, and we're just taking a nice little relaxation position here. You can rest the hands on the floor if you want to. You can also allow the head to hang. Whatever you choose to do, I want you to find that little point where you can just balance without effort. So as we do this, we start to surrender the knees. And you should feel that the knees are squeezing a little on the insides of your shoulders, but not with effort. So this is a practice of relaxation. So we're going to let go. So starting to bring your awareness all the way down into your pelvic floor. We're going to do this one for 3 minutes. I'm just going to put the timer on so that I don't keep you here for too long. So starting our 3 minutes, bringing the awareness all the way down into the pelvic floor. So starting right at our root chakra today. So you're going to begin to relax. And as you relax, allow the weight of the body to ease down into the feet. So you're not pressing in any way here. You're just surrendering. And you're finding that little point where you're balanced, where you don't need to use effort. So the hands even can be palms facing up. You're just going to allow yourself to relax here. And as you relax, I want you to notice that the legs will either want to go inward or outwards. So the hips will rotate either a little inwards or a little outwards, depending on your body and your own tension. You can allow the head to hang here if you want to. You shouldn't be holding any tension around the neck or the shoulders. So relaxing the shoulders, allow the belly to hang. I want you to notice how it feels between the left side and the right side. Notice if more of your weight tends to move towards one side. Try to surrender any desire to correct what your body is doing. You want to just allow yourself to relax here. We're halfway there. So surrendering, just allowing everything to be soft. I want you to bring your awareness around the hips. So just where the femur, that big bone on the thigh, goes into the hip socket. I want you just to imagine that you can see inside your hip socket, into the ball joint on the femur. Can you allow all of that to be really, really soft? Imagine there's a marshmallow in there. As you're doing this, you're letting go of your pelvic floor. Just notice how it feels as you surrender your pelvic floor. Notice the expansion that you start to feel, as though You're being just a little stretched from the tailbone to the pubic symphysis through that little bone at the front of your hips. Just feel the expansion as well as the sitting bones move a little further away from each other as you allow yourself to relax here. You're almost there. So from here, we're going to start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. With each inhalation, imagine you can bring the air all the way down into your pelvic floor. With each exhalation, relaxing completely. Inhaling deeply and exhale completely. One last deep inhalation. And as you exhale, you can bring the palms down onto the floor. If you have your hips sitting up on something, you can just sit a little further back. Otherwise, you can just relax your backside into the floor. You're just going to take the hands around the legs, and we're going to bring the legs around to the front and just give everything a little hug for a moment. So we don't want to do anything too sudden. So if you're sitting up on a bolster or sitting on some sort of cushions, just bring yourself to sitting with the legs in front of you and just give yourself a little hug here for a moment. Feel your sitting bones. Feel them sitting into the floor. I'm just going to make sure we have no questions. We're good. Okay, so we're going to release the legs out and we're just going to give them a little shake. So after having the flexion, deep flexion on the hips and deep flexion in the knees and the ankles, it's really nice to give everything a little shake. So just wiggle the legs a little, loosen everything out. Very good. And now we're going to go for our ball sitting. So we will do some relaxing exercises after this, but this one we want to find a comfortable seat for the ball sitting. Now, if you are a guy and if you have had any prostate issues, you're not going to just sit on a ball. I would actually encourage you in that case to use a single sock rather than a pair of socks, just so that you have something there, or just sit and allow everything to relax. So I'm going to take a blanket. So you have to first care for your knees as we practice. So make sure there's no creases. Creases underneath the knees are no fun. Now, when you sit, you want to find a comfortable cross-legged position. And if it's not comfortable for you to sit cross-legged, you can kneel over a bolster. If you feel that you collapse in the low back, you can put a little blanket underneath your hips to elevate them just a little, allowing you to sit up. And that also allows the knees to relax down towards the floor a little, which can be quite nice. So finding your variation. And of course, you have the option here of just sitting up on a bolster. And if you sit on the bolster, actually, there is, you can feel the perineum already pressing into the bolster. So if you choose this option, make sure you've got a wee blanket or something under your knees. And if you choose this option, you can do it without putting a ball if you want. And this is actually really good if you're a guy that is stiff and that maybe has some sort of prostate issues. So prostatitis, if it's a little uncomfortable for you to sit on a ball, then you can try that. For the rest of us, you can either sit on a sock or you can sit on something a little soft, or you can go for something a little harder. So I'm going to use this little ball. And what we want to do is you want to place it underneath the perineum. Now, the perineum is the space between the backside of the vagina in a woman, or the backside of the scrotum in a man, and the anus. So that little space of skin. And when we find it, we want to start to relax. And it's a little, this is hard. It's a little uncomfortable when you start, but I want you to start with just letting go. So as you start to relax yourself down, you're just going to try to allow the rib cage to be soft, allow the shoulders to be soft. You don't want to be rigid here. You really want to try to let go. The more you can let go in your body, the more you're going to be able to let go in the pelvic floor. And you can close the eyes here if you want to. So starting, we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So it might seem like a long time, but it will pass quickly. So starting to relax. Take a deep inhalation and exhale. And then I want you to be soft around your hips. I want you to bring your awareness to your perineum. And I want you to imagine that your perineum is like chocolate that is melting over a strawberry. Imagine that the ball is a strawberry. So allow the chocolate to coat the strawberry. Allow everything just to melt over that ball. And you shouldn't feel pain as you do this. If you feel a little discomfort, that's okay, but no pain. If it's painful, please just lift your hips, take a gentler option or just a single sock, just so that you can feel something there. And as you feel that gentle pressing, you're relaxing. I want you to bring your awareness to your sitting bones. I want you to try to be really soft around the sitting bones. Bring your awareness to your glutes, your butt cheeks. Make sure you're not holding tension around your butt cheeks. Bring your attention to the insides of your legs and try to be soft and relax the insides of your legs. I want you to bring your awareness to your rib cage. Just notice if you're holding tension. Notice if your shoulders are tense. Try to be soft and try to relax the shoulders down. Just allow the breath to be natural. And if you're sitting at the edge, if you are really struggling to relax into this position, if you're really struggling to let go of the tension, I want you to be kind to yourself and use something just a little softer. If you're going to, you can put a little blanket behind your sitting bones so that it's a little softer. But if you're there, if you're all the way there with me, keep relaxing your pelvic floor. So bring your awareness to the front part of your pelvic floor and try to be soft. Try to just allow everything to be open and soft, as though this were a really comfortable position. Bring your awareness into your groin and allow it to be really soft. You're almost there. And then as you allow yourself to become heavy, imagine that you're really heavy and you're surrendering all of your weight down into the floor. You're going to start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Imagine that you can breathe into your pelvic floor. Imagine that you can exhale the tension. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. One last deep inhalation. And as you exhale, you're going to gently place the hands in front of you and you're going to gently allow the body to come off the ball. So move slowly. It took some time to allow yourself to relax over the ball. So allow yourself a little moment to come off. And then you're just going to remove your ball, your sock, whatever you've been using. If you're up on the bolster, you can come off the bolster and just kneel with nothing underneath your perineum. And I just want you to feel as the fluid comes back into the area. So when you practice yin, it's a practice of compression. So typically that involves almost like a squeezing of fluid out of the tissues. And your connective tissues, they hold water. So this gives an opportunity, almost like a sponge, for a little squeezing out of those tissues. And that allows for fresh fluid to come back into the area, which helps with rejuvenation, helps with rehabilitation. So just give yourself a little moment to feel that sensation of everything coming back. And then we're going to prepare to move into our next position. And for the next position, we're going to go for a twist. So we're going to twist to we'll twist over the bolster. So we'll twist to the right side first. So if you don't have a bolster, you can use a little rolled up quilt. I do recommend that you get a bolster if you can, though. They're really, really good. They really make the practice a lot more enjoyable. So for this, we're going to take deer pose with the legs. So you should feel after that sitting that your pelvic floor it feels a little invigorated after compression and then decompression that we've just done. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit more of a twist into that. So it's almost like we're giving the pelvic floor a little bit of a twist from another angle. So for this, I want you to bring the bolster so that it is up against your hip. So you're sitting sideways and the bolster is that way. And we're going to sit here. We're going to take what we call deer pose in the legs. So each leg is around a 35 to 45-degree angle. So whatever feels comfortable for you. If it's too uncomfortable for you to put your legs like this, you can, of course, always bring the legs a little bit closer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the body to face the bolster. And when we do this, what we want to do is place the stomach onto the bolster. Now, it's easier if the bolster is a little bit towards your legs, then it's very easy to get the stomach onto the bolster. Otherwise, you can have the bolster in the center, which takes a little bit more of a twist. But if you're very flexible in your spine, you can go even further away when you take your twist. But I'm just going to go for the center here. And then when we come down onto the bolster, we're going to do 3 minutes on each side. So when you allow the stomach to rest down onto the bolster, you can just allow the hands to relax and place the head down. I just need to make sure I don't place the head down on the microphone. So we're going to be 3 minutes in this position. So finding a comfortable position for you, and then allowing the hands to relax. Now, I will face the camera for this, but if you want to face your head away from your knees, then that is a deeper stretch. So coming into the position and just allowing yourself to relax here. So you can begin by relaxing your shoulders and then allow the belly to hang. So really try to surrender. I want you to surrender the weight of your hips. And I want you to notice how it feels in the pelvic floor after having sat on the ball. Can you release some extra tension in this position? So again, this is a position that is giving you a little compression on one side and a little decompression on the other side of the pelvic floor. So as you allow yourself to relax here, I want you to imagine that your legs are just no longer attached. They're just hanging out. You're not actually using any effort to be here. I want you to notice the weight of your body on the bolster or on the rolled up quilt or cushions, whatever you're using. I want you to try for the body to be really heavy. So surrender the weight of your body completely. Just notice how it feels around your shoulders and your neck. You shouldn't feel any pain in this position. It should just be a complete surrender. You're halfway there. What can you let go of as you allow yourself to surrender in this position? Allow your belly to hang. And then bring your awareness to your spine, starting at the tailbone. I want you to move your awareness as though you can take it one vertebra at a time. And I want you to search for the twist. See if you can feel the point of tension where the actual twist exists in your spine. I want you to try to send relaxation all the way across the spine where you feel the twist. So imagine you can take that relaxation from the right side of the body, right across the center to the left side of the body. Are you finding any tension that you can let go of? Just keep releasing, keep relaxing, allowing the weight of your body to be really heavy now. Letting go of your pelvic floor, letting go of your belly. So the belly hangs completely here. I want you to bring the awareness to the whole backside of your body. I want you to imagine that the backside of your body is light. And as you allow yourself to surrender down into the bolster, imagine the lightness on the backside of your body. And imagine that is almost lifting up towards the ceiling. But without effort, you're just surrendering the weight down and allowing the lightness to lift. And in between this weighted side and this light side, I want you to feel the space. And then start to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. Bring the air all the way through the spine as though you can breathe into the twist. As you exhale, try to let go of all of the tension. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. One last deep inhalation. And as you exhale, bring some energy back into the fingers. And we move very slowly here. So just take the hands so that they're underneath the shoulders. Gently press into the hands. Slowly coming up here. So we don't want to move quickly. We want to take this really easy. So coming up, we're going to just turn the legs around, and then you can bring the arms around the legs and just stretch yourself up nice and tall. I want you to notice after twisting that you feel a difference between left and right. So we have just created imbalance by doing something only one side. So we're going to now create balance by taking the position on the opposite side. And for the purpose of demonstration, I will move the bolster, but you can simply just twist to face in the other direction. I just want to stay facing you guys. I'm just going to check we have no questions. We are good. Okay, so we're going to take the position on the opposite side. And I saw a request there for reverse kegels, and we will do a video on that. Maybe we'll do some reverse kegels on next week's live session. For now, we're going to take either square pose in the, or sorry, either the deer pose in the legs. So this is the 35 to 45 degree angle, or you can bring the legs a little closer together, whatever feels right for you. And you're going to turn to face the bolster. Again, you can choose the position of the bolster. So either closer to the legs for a gentler twist, further away from the legs for a deeper twist, or just right in the center if you just want to take like a normal twist. And then you can allow the stomach to lay on the bolster. And if it doesn't reach the bolster, do take it in a little bit closer. Allow yourself to rest down. Again, we're going to be here just for 3 minutes. So relaxing down onto the bolster. And as you start the relaxation, so you may notice it's a little different sensation this time. We're now almost 4 minutes away from our decompression after sitting on the ball. So it shouldn't feel quite the same on this side, but you should feel this more through the spine. So having twisted to one side, it always feels like this is really needed when we come to the other side. So I want you to bring your awareness to your hips. Allow the hips to be really heavy. Notice your pelvic floor. See if you can sense that you are decompressing on one side and compressing slightly on the other. I want you to let your legs just be as though they're hanging out. You're not really using any energy at all to do anything with them. They're just there, surrendered. I want you to bring your awareness to your shoulders and let your shoulders relax. If you feel like you're holding tension in your shoulders, you can just allow the arms to come a little further away. So just the palms are facing up towards the ceiling. There's no gripping, there's no pulling or pushing. Just surrender. And then start to allow your belly to hang. So make sure you're not gripping around your abs. Just allow the whole weight of your body to relax down into the bolster, cushions, whatever you're using. And then I want you to begin a scan of your spine, starting at your tailbone, the coccyx, and then moving up through the sacrum. Just imagine that you can sense every single vertebra and move your focus through the spine, all the way from the base up to the cervical spine on your neck. And with each move of focus, I want you to notice if you can find the twist, notice if there is tension. And if you find that tension, I want you to bring a band of softness from the left side of your body all the way over to the right side of your body. I want you to try to surrender. Don't hold anything here. Just imagine that you're completely letting go of everything, giving everything up to this earth. And as you feel the weight of the bottom side of your body relaxing down into the bolster, notice the lightness on the backside. And I want you to imagine space growing between the heavy side and the light side. And then starting to take the first of 3 long, deep breaths. I want you to breathe as though you can take the tension away from the twist. With each inhalation, you're reaching down into the body, looking for tension. With each exhalation, you're allowing the body to be even heavier, surrendering tension to the earth. And after your third exhalation, Bring some energy back into the hands. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Gently press into the hands. Very slowly we come up. We move with grace when we practice yin. You're going to turn to face away. Take the knees together. Just bring the arms around the knees. Just give yourself a little hug here. Just taking a little moment. You should notice that you now are balanced after having taken that position now on both sides. So with that done, we are going to do one last thing before you take your final rest, your savasana, and that is our little butt massage. I like to do this in every class. I would not miss it, not for the world. So we're going to sit. You can rest on your elbows and then just windscreen wiper the legs from one side to the other. I have to move out a little. And as you do this, you're rolling over the glutes. And this is really nice to this can be very nice. You're getting a little bit onto the piriformis here as well. Piriformis is connected to the pelvic floor, where it provides a little support to the backside, and the obturator internus, which is on the front side of the pelvic floor, and that is connected to the pelvic floor. Quite a lot of the pelvic floor is attached to it. So this is getting in a little bit on the sides here to those muscles. So giving a little bit of a release. And then you slow this down and come back to the center. So that is our live class for today. So from here, you can take your final rest. So it's really nice if hopefully you have put on some music, soft lighting, and then just lay flat on your back and just rest for 5 or 10 minutes. It's a really nice way to settle the body. Now, this is a practice that moves water in the body. So it's really good to drink after this. And also you may need to pee after this. It's quite normal. Somebody asked about that last week. Hot bath can be really lovely. So you do whatever you need to have a really nice evening after this little practice. And next week, I think we will do some reverse kegels as requested. And maybe if people are interested, we could also do a Q&A within the next couple of weeks. So just leave a little comment if you're interested in anything else. And I wish you all a really wonderful evening.